with how they play because they focus a lot on the carry, and Omni allows the carry to shine. It's very easy to play when you have Guardian Angel, you have Heavenly Grace. That's like a perfect scenario for you to carry the game. They are already creating the environment for him to win the game for the team.
Yeah, and this is how Lana has consistently been drafting. You got your 2 checkboxes already filled out. You got.
Oh, we have buff. Oh, we have stuns.
Yeah,
oh, we have catch.
exactly.
We are very clear. Okay, you carry us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the most important thing is, do I have a save support? Do I have a stun support? Mission accomplished. Now we can just pick whatever feels comfortable for our course.
Do you like the bench pick for them? Like they've been like one of the few teams that really like the hero.
Not yet. I don't think there's enough. For me, the bench pick is most justified when you have just tons of physical damage. And I don't think she warrants it just by herself. Or if you desperately need a save, which they already have Omni Knight for.
Is there anything in particular that from the series today these teams could have taken away from? Like lessons learned?
Be afraid of Arc Warden would be my biggest thing.
What?
Okay.
Arc Warden?
But Arc Warden was only picked for the Medusa, right?
Yeah.
Usually either Medusa, Drow, all these kinds of hero.
The ranged heroes.
Yeah, the range hero, so that you can abuse the bubble on them.
Okay.
So the next pick we're probably gonna see Gambit decide. Offlane Clockwork / support Clockwork. Which one will be better?
Well, either way, he's not going to be laying against Omni Knight. Probably.
Yeah, but you kind of want to set up your the draft behind, so you probably gonna have to pick like a general hero, like something that does well regardless, like LC, maybe Brew, because you have you want to deal with the Omni Knight.
Yeah, I'd be a big fan of Brew. Have Gambit played Brewmaster or Shiver?
This tournament?
Not
No.
very sure. I don't think so. Yeah.
But I will check just to be sure.
Bowed, Faceless Void.
Razor. So yeah, they're setting up for the mid hero most likely. They want the Razor to lane against the Omni. That's a favorable lane for you. So you're gonna have to pull creeps and do whatever you can to survive.
Yeah.
And could go mid. It's still flexible for them. They did run it mid.
If Aster go for a melee mid, then definitely.
Yeah, depending on just the lanes, you know. So they are just like keeping everything really open. Just a very good sequence of heroes being picked here by Gambit.
Active discussions on the side of
It's like,
us.
guys, I can carry with this hero.
What's the hero though?
What is the hero?
Not his turn yet. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
It's
Well,
not his.
We did say it was the first pick for Aster, so last pick for Gambit, so they could, or they will probably pick SE-3's hero in the next 2 picks.
Yeah, the next one.
If
Not
they're
this
thinking
one.
it's gonna get banned
One.
anyway. No, the next one.
Yeah, the next one. This one is gonna be a support because Snapfire probably gonna be their position 5. Oh wait, no. This is the mid hero.
They play
I
it as
think-
support sometimes.
I think mid. Oh, position 4, 5.
They have
Fade or
they haven't
Baboka?
done it this tournament, but I know they've done it in the past.
It is a sick combo. Coil into rain fire.
Yeah, one more kisses.
So for this tournament, they've played puck once on mid. Previous game that we saw actually from them against Alliance, that was up against an SF that he did not win his lane against.
This game we might see a SF if Aster doesn't ban it. I mean, I guess they'll probably ban it if it's not being picked here, and the last ban will be on the SF.
I think this puck is just an answer to wherever Razor goes. They're just gonna put puck either mid.
So you
if
think the
it's-
Omni could be a support, or what? Because you're saying
yeah,
the puck
that's
will.
true. Yeah.
You're saying the puck will just like be a core in the Razor's lane, right?
Yeah, but that makes things very awkward for Omni Knight. That's true.
It feels more like they're just picking him the space maker because they just want to keep the carry last.
Then why puck? Puck doesn't do anything that good. There's no like melee cores.
It's
to
just
drink
a
oil
general
exploits.
hero. It's a general hero. You're gonna get what you want to get from Puck, and Puck doesn't really lose most of the lanes. You know, he's gonna be okay in the lane.
Baden picked up. Looks like a support clock with that. And then a Shacklow Baden.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, support Abaddon could be pretty irritating for an Omni Knight to go up against also.
Yeah, but if you have a support Baden, you kind of want it to be a 5. And I think you kind of want Lich to be
Yeah.
5
Yep.
instead.
Yep. Everything is more or less set in stone right now for Gambit. They're setting up for the last superhero. Whoever it is.
Superhero. So do you think that for Gambit is gonna? Because earlier we saw GPK on the Razor and he crushed it, sure, but
Yeah.
it's not like the typical hero that you see GPK be flashy on and
I
win the
think
game
it's
with.
going back to what Neil mentioned. It just depends on the matchup. If they think the matchup is good, they have a melee hero mid.
Yeah.
You have Razor, why not?
All right, Slark coming out for S-Triple-C. Just missing the well, depends on what that puck is gonna do, I guess. So either the Fade hero or the Achiwan hero.
I'm guessing a Truon hero is the last pick for Aster.
I mean, what do they want on the support? If that's a Tron, if the puck is a Tran hero.
No, I'm saying
Oh,
last
you're saying the puck is gonna be a 4,
support,
right?
Yeah.
A 4 with the Omni Knight. If that's the case, General Hero.
Which boxes haven't they ticked yet?
They need some,
Some push.
more initiation, I think. They already have tower damage with this. I mean, Stark can be sort of tower damage.
But everybody that hits tower, like every hero is
Yeah,
somewhat tower
Slug is
damage.
not the best tower damage. I mean, they do lack some form of that.
Hmm.
You can maybe look into picking some hero that can kill buildings here.
Dragon Knight.
Dragon Knight, Lash
It's always
Lash,
the one that comes up.
Lash Rack, DP.
I was thinking Dragon Knight, but Razor would eat a Dragon Knight alive in lane.
They are removing the Shadow Shaman. That
Yeah.
would have been tower push.
Yeah,
we have
that
seen,
would be
Fate
the
on that.
puck mid, and yeah, Shaman on position 4 would provide the tower push.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds
I
remaining.
mean, there's no other supports that can give you tower push, I think.
Jakiro.
Yeah, it must be some weird hero like that.
Venomat. No. Anything that brings in the creepos. Enchantress still in the pool. I don't think Fade's really an Enchantress player though. And I think you want Enchantress also if you have it as the 5. But let's see what they go for. They have still got a full minute in bonus time, and you know that Landon will take that time to talk to his team about plan.
Yeah, he's crunching the numbers.
Oh yes.
Yeah, but I feel like maybe we are overthinking about the tower damage, you know. If they
Yeah,
have enough
probably.
team fight, they can always win the team fight and kill the enemy team. Then you don't have to worry about it when everyone is dead.
So
you can
want
just
the-
kill the buildings.
You want the initiator then, right now?
Yeah, having another initiator, because Snapfire and Omni doesn't do anything to stun and kill people. It's not very reliable. Snapfire, you kind of want someone to start the fight, then you follow up. And right now they have only Puck, so they don't have a lot of options.
What are they thinking about banning out? Which hero would they still
Shadow
be worried
Fiend
about?
seems like the very dangerous hero here, but they might be thinking about something else since they're using so much time to figure out the last ban, you know. Like, could it be a carry, like a anti-mage? Because anti-mage beats Omni and Slug. Both of these heroes. What did they ban?
Oh,
They banned out
Pain.
Queen of Pain and they pick up the OD. So that means it is a puck support. A little bit of a save coming out, so they've got double saves in Omni and, OD.
And the OD is going to more or less going to be like sharing the win condition factor with the Slug. Both of them can win the games, but
Yeah.
I think OD is going to be the bigger boss here.
10 seconds.
And a great hero to pair up with the Dream Coil as well. If everybody's stuck in there, it's field day for Outworld Devourer. All right, let's see
So
what Gambit
do they
picks.
still Shadow Fiend? Does Shadow Fiend beat OD in the lane? That I'm not sure.
GPK Shadow Fiend can.
I think.
Or do they want to put the Razor mid against OD and pick something else against us?
They do have a
the Omni?
clock. They can go for. I know. Clockwork support don't like to go cogs level
Yeah,
1, but they
it's kinda
can
bad.
secure the lane for the Shadow Fiend regardless.
And when you do that, the only thing you can do in the lane is to cog the creep so the creep is nearer to your tower.
They go for Storm. That's a GP hero. I like it.
So who's Razor laning against now? It's the
Omni
Omni Knight.
Knight.
Omni
and
Knight,
Puck.
yeah. And Storm is gonna be
That's great
against
for
OD.
Dream. Yeah, and Storm is.
Because they don't have much catch apart from Coil. The Storm is free to run
Yeah.
around and do Storm things.
They got the silence. Maybe not ideal.
Not
but
very reliable.
No, not very
sure.
reliable.
Yeah.
If he has the yields, then it's so difficult to kill him.
And they've got a Abaddon Shield as well.
You guys are seeming quite happy with Gambit's draft.
I didn't say I was unhappy with Aster's draft, though.
This is true. Which draft are you happier with?
Yeah, they both have similar drafts in the sense that they both have two cores that could share the role of being the game winner because they both couldn't really find that one hero because of how the draft is going about. So no one actually has that one strongest hero. Right now it's shared between the 4 heroes.
I think it's just either Storm Spirit on Gambit or Slark on Aster are ultimately going to be the strongest heroes. I think OD and Razor are going to be playing more of the utility support roles to enable these two other
I mean, it
heroes.
depends on the lane though. If OD gets a good lane, I think there's a chance he might also be able to become that strong hero.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But Storm Spirit can't be utility. He is going to have to outcarry the Razor on his own team. He's going to have to be more significant in winning the game than his Razor will be.
He's gonna be big. He's got to be big.
Yeah, I mean, they picked it. It was the last pick. They knew what the mid lane matchup was going to be.
So let's look at the lanes. Who has the better lanes? If we can't decide with the core,
I
Gambit has a Lich and a Clock support, and then the Snapfire and Puck support. I would favor Gambit because
yeah,
Lich.
I think Lich is a stronger laner.
And it's Razor versus a melee hero.
Puck and Snapfire are not that far behind. They are as strong, I think. Like, but it's a difficult one.
I'll go Gambit.
All right. You wanna split the panel? You wanna join Tsunami on the Gambit train?
But I think Lich is like stronger, and it's gonna be that hero is gonna give them the extra edge in the laning phase to allow their cores to shine. And we talked about how important it is this series that the supports outdo each other to allow their cores to win. So, Gambit.
All right. Well, let's find out if my analysts are correct and hear from OD Pixel and Lacoste.
Yeah, thank you, Shiva. Looking for this one. It should be a great one, Lacoste, right? Gambit versus Aster to see who's going to be able to take that one more step closer towards the grand finals and towards the major. The drafts are done. What are we reckoning, Lacoste? Anything that sort of stands out to you as any potential problems for either of these teams or something that looks particularly strong?
I'm going to quote you, the one thing you said before the last pick, like Storm into Puck into Slark. These are like 2 leashes and they don't have like a real save. Yes, you have Abaddon to buy some time, but look at the amount of save on side of Aster. You have Cookie, you have Astral Imprisonment, and you have Omni Knight with 3 saving spells. So they need to not fully commit on side of Gambit. Also, I don't think Clockwork is going to be that useful this game. You have Cookie to get outside of the cog. Same goes for Puck. OD needs to build 4 staff in this game. Slark can just bounce. I'm a bit worried. Both of these lineups are limited on stuns, and Aster has more catch. Like, Storm Spirit needs to have a really, really good game if Gambit wants to win this one.
Yeah, definitely a lot of pressure on GPK to not make the mistakes and get himself in positions where Aster are able to utilize those strengths. But, you know, if there's ever sort of a man on Gambit to look towards to play as cool as a cucumber, it will be GPK. He's had some great performances so far on LAN. He's ready for a challenge. And obviously, you know, as a team and GPK, they did feel that this was very playable. They picked it later on in the draft. So we'll see what he's able to do with it. We'll see how ourselves getting into these lane situations. GPK obviously up against Twan in the mid lane on his OD. Looking at some of these side lanes. There's CCC Slark backed up by the Bo3 Snapfire against FNG and Shashlo down bottom. Top lane Dream farming on the carry Razor, backed up by support Clockwork, played by XS Vampire. And they'll be laning against XXS's Omni Knight, and Fade playing the support Puck.
It's been a while since I saw Puck being played as position 4/5. It was popular like a month and a half, 2 ago, and it kind of just stopped. You want to go for this like cast range talent, so you don't necessarily need to go for Blink Dagger. You can initiate from really far away. Also, if you want to build a 4-staff, I think this is the item against the Razor, against the Clockwork. Just the juking and kiting potential from this item is too good. Also synergizes well with your ulti. You just use the 4-staff to snap the coil.
I mean, in these lanes, we're seeing, I mean, is there sort of any kill potential, do you feel, from any of these dual lanes? Who's going to be able to be the most aggressive early on?
I'd say bottom lane. This is where we are looking into the first blood. And this is what Bo3 has been doing. He gets a little shredder on level 2. Sometimes he even gets it level 1 for extra harassment.
Yeah, interesting, because, what sort of the standard with Snapfires has just been to max out the first 2 skills, the Cookie and the Blast. But Bo3 taking a little bit of a different approach. Obviously, that little shredder can be very nice for some harassment, and also just the sort of the attack slow early on can mess with carries or cores going for CS. Always got to be something that you need to be aware of. And we're interested to see how he does go with the rest of his skill build. Obviously, if you are trying to skill up all 3 of the abilities as Snapfire, your mana pool is pretty terrible, so it can be kind of hard to play around with 3 abilities in the early game.
It's god-awful. Like, you want to put one more point in the Scatter Blast, but there is a really nice synergy with the Cookie and Slark to repositioning spells, so you can get on top of whoever you want.
Yeah, and I think sort of, well, one of the main things as well that's worth noting is that attack slow, of course, very nice against Abaddon, you know, making it that little harder for Shashlo to land the 4 hits and get the proc with the Curse of Avernus.
Snapfire needs to bring any kind of mana regen to the bottom lane, couple of mangoes, and clarities to keep harassing. So far, Slark is having a really good time, 13-1. Surprised GPK is doing so well against the OD, 7 denies.
Yeah, I mean, I guess early on, you know, sure, you imagine a Storm to be able to get CS fine, shoving it out, but you're certainly right. You know, Chuan just not really able to find a situation where he's able to use those Astrals in a way that's securing him all the CS. GPK playing it smart.
Every single time you use Astral in this lane, you should get at least 1 CS and 1 denied. That's the unwritten rule. I didn't make it up.
I'd agree. I think you've been a bit kind there. I feel like, yeah, you know, normally you try and aim for even more than just the 2 here. Well, looks like so far that's all Chuan's really been able to maintain. GPK doing a good job, getting lucky with the creep spawn as well. Nice easy camp for him to quickly burst down with the remnants. As 4-minute rune, who's going to get lucky with the RNG? It will be GPK. Bottom, it's going to be a regen rune. And he'll certainly make good usage of that, popping a remnant down as well to make sure that Chuan cannot get over and cancel it. So GPK's mana straight back to full. Top lane, Dream getting a little low. Cogs are down nicely from Vampire to stop the chase from Fade and XXS, as Dream will be able to salve up to safety behind and close to his tower. So overall, the farm on him was 16 for 3 against XXS's 20 for 4. Doing a pretty good job, I mean, all things considered in this lane. You know, you are a melee off-lane hero against the Razor, but Fade's harassment just seems to have been enough so far that Dream hasn't really been able to dominate this lane in potentially a way that a Razor would want to against a melee off-lane.
You can see that Fade is just focusing on pure harassment. He's 0-1, so no CS, no denies, zoning clockwork every single time he tries to get close. Gets hit a couple of times. Let's see if he want to use Vanning Rift to pick up the bounty, and does not get it.
XS Vampire able to pick that one up in time, and with Fade using that orb aggressively, XS Vampire is going to be able to quickly walk round him and make sure that Gambit get 3 of the bounty runes. And in fact,
there should be 4.
Yeah, it should be. The last one remaining is the one over there side of the map. XS Vampire TP's out to safety. Fade has nowhere near enough damage or control to do anything about it. Gambit getting the edge there. Bottom lane, SCCC seeing a chance to get aggressive. Jumps in onto FNG with Dark Pack damage and the Cookie Fort from Bo3. That'll do it. First blood for Aster. They pounce in while Shashlo is away. And Gambit aren't able to keep FNG safe. That's already SCCC. Happy with that one.
Bo3's staying away from XP as much as he can to give Slark level 6. So once you have level 6, there's no real kill potential unless you overextend, or if you get like hit 4 times by a bat and then he silences you. And this is a build on Slark 2-1-2, pretty standard, especially since you're playing against a melee hero. Also brought infused raindrops for some extra mana regen and sustain against any harassment early on.
Now I'm trying to, am I correct? What caused SCCC not to get the permanent essence shift from that kill? I mean, I know he didn't get the kill, but did he just not hit him anywhere near close to dying? Am I crazy?
Could be.
I guess he just stopped hitting him.
SCCC, what are you doing?
No, I mean, I don't know what. I think he maybe just dark packed it and then focused on just getting CS, and obviously missed out on the opportunity of keeping the essence shift debuff on long enough to get the bonus.
Storm Spirit is level 6, has Invis Rune in bottle, so if they decide to dive on the top tower, there's gonna be a rotation. And he comes much faster online than OD. He can keep fighting, zipping around the map, initiating from far away. Bottom lane.
Let's see. FNG is going to be in trouble once again. SCCC and Bo3 easily on top of them. They'll get the kill. And this time SCCC will be able to get that permanent essence shift stack. Rotation from GPK is in to punish it and will be a success. These are the sort of moves that you say you're looking to GPK to make, and he's pulling them off already. Coming in, no hesitation, and they'll be fine with that one. Sure, you dove, you killed a support, but suddenly you've lost your carry for a good amount of time during this laning stage.
Even if he popped the magic wand, would still die there, but unfortunately for him, he was not level 6, so overall, better trade for Gambit. And he's already back on the mid lane. FNG was collecting some XP while Storm was doing action on the bottom lane. Snapfire extremely high level. Bo3 finding those levels early on. Level 5.5 at the moment.
Oh yeah, if he gets that 6 on early, the combo is going to be very nice. Already just having SCCC being able to pounce into the Mortimer's Kisses from the back line is going to result in a lot more easier kills for Aster to farm on this bottom lane. Gambit have to be careful, as if GPK isn't able to TP down and help out. It's a bit of a dangerous place for Gambit's heroes to be. Shashto has hit 6 himself, is holding on to the point, of course, but has the opportunity to go into the borrowed time if Aster do get aggressive on him again.
SCCC should not die in the next 5 minutes for sure. He has this ulti, so his HP is always going to be full. Also has 1 sentry to work with. He will deny the Observer Ward, needs to hit it twice. Quelling Blade does not work anymore. And the Bo3 just uses Little Shredder for some extra attack speed to get it, so there's no deny potential.
Again, one of these games where both teams not losing out really on any of their lanes. All is being found, seeing some of the deny difference. Obviously on the top lane there's a bit of an edge for Dream. He's now managed to find situations where with the support movements it is just him against XXS, so naturally as a Razor he's being able to harass XXS back that little bit more and keep that level advantage against the offlane Omni. Now a rotation actually may punish that aggression. Dream feeling a little too confident and not prepared for Chuan to come in with the Astral setup. There is a bit of backup for both sides. The Mortimer's Kisses are out because of those fast levels. They can make this quick play. Not necessarily something you expect, whereas it's 9 minutes in, the Snapfire to come in and start firing your ultimate at you already.
You do not expect Snapfire to be a level 6 pre-10-minute mark, and she's involved in only 3 kills. That's not a lot, but those pulls on the bottom lane, getting levels also when SCCC died, Grandma collected 1 wave of experience.
Yeah, Bo3 off to a very impactful start. And by the runes, SCCC tried to grab it, but Shashto will pick it up. He's going to pop the borrowed time. And SCCC is going to look to try and fight through it. He's building up the Essence Shift stacks. TP comes in, doesn't want to stick around for the last hit. FNG's here, and SCCC, he's not messing around. Shadow Dance and a TP away. He knows the Gambit were coming in and he was being baited forward, and he's not going to fall for that bait.
He was running low on mana. Good decision not to dive. It's really not worth it, especially if Dream gets the return kill on him. Both of these teams kind of limited on tower damage, so they need to play around the siege creep timings. And we can already see the mirror movement. Dire is going to take, or at least put some pressure on the bottom tower. Same goes for Radiant. I love that. I mentioned the 4-staff build against the lineup of Gambit. I see Puck queuing up 1. I see OD also going for 1. So they can snap the coil, get away from cogs, get away from static link, and this is how you kite and how you win a game.
If they can take these towers, that will push them nice and quickly towards that early item rush. CCC, no surprises with his items. Treads into the diffusal, not going to mess around with sort of the drums on the way, as we do see some slots go for. Bottom lane, coil combo. Here it is, the setup, coil into the Mortimer's Kisses. Not a whole lot you can do against this relentless damage firing down from you from afar.
Oh, Cookie! Oh! Jumps over him.
A little too close there, the creep. As just off the mark, but a good attempt nonetheless from Bo3. Not quite in time at all though, as FNG will make it away, and FNG himself, he's also got his level 6, so Gambit can try and find some action with the Chain Frost.
they don't have the best setup for Lich ulti. The only thing they got is Cogs or Storm Spirit's Pool. Clockwork is still level 5.5, which means that he can't participate in fights from long range without that hook shot.
Yeah, trying to pick up the XP in the mid lane, getting towards that ult, but indeed a full level to go on it. See on the mid item builds, Tron. So you got coming out here is the completed 4-star. So indeed very, very quickly done this game as the mid OD. And over on Gambit side, GPK, Kaya is online and will help speed up the farming as he continues to just jungle his way towards as quick of a bloodstone as he can provide this match. And you really see that there in the net worth. Both of the mids farming to their heart's content and they're staying at the top of the board.
Gambit will want to take a fight right now, or at least get a pick off on one of those cores. Storm Spirit has double damage in the bottle. It's time to go. Sadly, once again, Clockwork still not level 6.
Now this wave should just about do it. So as long as he's able to get that in time. Boka's heading across, and you've got to keep eyes on the Snapfire. 10 seconds until Mortimer's kisses again. So Gambit, they will smoke, but they are smoking into the full combo ready to go from Aster. So if they want to find something, they've got to make it quick. Ideally finding anyone on Aster in a situation where they are alone, and XXS is sort of separated. See who they make the move towards. Vampire leads the charge. 6 has been hit, so he's looking for the hook shot opportunity.
This might end up as a disaster for Gambit. Aster knows something's cooking. They have this 4-staff, they have Astral Imprisonment, and I don't think you have enough damage to just burst OD before he can get any spells off, or just the 4-staff.
A ward is popped down, but immediately de-warded by Boka. As with that in mind, it is, as you say, just not looking like a place for Gambit to make a play. And Aster, they know that Gambit's been hunting around here and haven't been successful with their own movement. So now they'll make a move themselves. They smoke up, ready to set up around this mid lane. Gambit are a little split up with this. They've left the Razor down on the bottom. Let's see if there's any way to start the fight. With Shashlo showing himself mid, that isn't the target. They want to look for something a little easier to jump on. And in turn, doesn't look like even Aster themselves will find a way to start things. Only Puck Fade still underneath the smoke, but they can't quite get a jump in. Gambit, in turn, playing it safely, with Shashlo just being the only one to present himself in the lane. They know that with that in mind, it's hard for Aster to make an aggressive move onto or around the Abaddon.
Vampire is invis. I don't think you're getting a kill on Slark. Pounce, level 3. Also have ulti if he feels threatened. I think this benefits Aster more. Slark is about to finish his Diffusal Blade.
They're going to try for him. This is not easy.
They have no ground stuns. Battery does not work. Zoning Mortimer's kisses.
All right. I mean, that's a little bit of a win there for Gambit. Shows not a kill, but now you don't have to worry about the Snapfire ult for that long old cooldown of 100 seconds. So you may have opened up yourself an opportunity to find something else within that timing, even though you did not get it immediately. And yeah, immediately you see Aster, they're backing away from this top because Gambit, they're moving around this top tier 1 tower. They're ready to try and push for some objectives, knowing that that threat of the Snapfire isn't around.
It's going to take them a while to take the bottom tower. Even Glyph is popped. Gambit has a better sieging opportunity with Abaddon's Curse of Avernus, level 3. Also, they have a siege creep, so they can still defend the bottom tower.
I'm going to make sure GPK gets the last touch. And that is the question, do they want to head down here? It is slowly falling with the siege creep there. They are doing it. Aster sort of double guessing themselves, wondering if they can stick around to finish it off. And I think they realize now there's not going to be any defense coming in. They'll take the tier 1 tower down towards mid lane. Aster might need some backup to head over as XS Vampire comes in aggressively, drops down the cogs. Fortification will be used by Aster. As Gambit, they've quickly moved over here to continue to take more towers away from Aster.
Aster's lineup is much stronger now. That's finished the Diffusal Blade on Slark. They're ready to take a fight.
And if Fate can find a coil, it will go, but as it is, Chuan's more focused on soaking in that wave at the top. It's halfway towards the Axe. This does mean that XXS is sort of left isolated. He's going to be able to get any of his abilities off. He's just only going to be able to find the Purification, and that is not enough to keep him alive. Gambit, they'll take the kill. And they'll resume the siege here in the middle lane, taking down the tier 1 tower. They'll find it. Aster
has fallen.
just sort of more focused on making sure they do have these next big items. Tron really wants the axe done before he turns up. He's 1,500 gold away from it.
These items are coming quickly on Aster. There's going to be full pipe in the next minute and a half. Force staff finished on position for Puck. Slark with the diffusal blade. He kind of cripples the Storm Spirit with the leash, with the mana burn.
This should be a pretty simple kill to find. And that diffusal blade and the Mortimer's Kisses on top of it. No chance for Vampire. As SCCC, I mean, he really is hitting the timings. I mean, they all are. It's very close. We're 17 minutes in, but it's only 5-2. Just the sort of the careful game that you would expect from both of these teams. Very few mistakes being made by the sort of the core heroes that matter this game. All very focused on making sure that they have the items done that they feel are necessary before they go overly aggressive. Gambit, they're hanging around in the mid. See SCCC walks straight into this, gets the dart packed off in time. The Sinister Gaze with the Chain Frost comes bouncing out. They try and jump in for Fade. The Fade forced back to safety. He's able to slide up to the high ground and separate himself. He's fine. Gambit don't have any further control.
Before the next fight, Aster wants to have Aghanim Scepter completed on OD. That one extra charge on Aster will not give Gambit a clear target in a fight. Like, you want to focus OD. Yes, there is another Force Staff on Puck to push him out. Also, Omni Knight, who still didn't use GA at all.
No, a lot of ways to make sure that Chuan is an incredibly hard target to focus. And Gambit, they're still playing the farm game very well themselves. Bloodstone obviously done by GPK. He's going for the BKB next to help him deal with all the potential leashes and routes that Aster are going to be looking to land on the Storm in all of these team fights. So I think for them themselves, GPK will also be happy just looking to finish off that item before they really try and get in aggressive. Sure, they'll take opportunities for pickoffs if Aster send a hero out alone, but again, they're not allowing those mistakes to happen.
If Snapfire decides to go for Aghanim Scepter, I think this game's just over. That's kind of unfair. We don't even have Aghanim Scepter for Snapfire.
I was like, hang on, like, over. Okay,
I was waiting for you to agree. Yeah, that's one of the best Aghanim Scepters.
I did have to think. I was like, hang on. No, but I mean, you're right. Obviously, Ags on Snapfire is very busted, making Mortimer's Kisses global. Crappuccino. Mid lane in the river. There's a fight kicking off. SCCC is going to look for the Lich. Dragging in with the Sinister Gaze, but FNG will fall to his death. Zip back up to the high ground. GPK is fine, but now Chuani's there with the setup. The Astral onto Chashlo. It's time to start getting those beautiful Essence Shift stacks up. Oh, another Astral. I'll be honest, I think SCCC is probably a little disappointed with that. You know, he wanted to keep on hitting the Abaddon. Sure, they kill him anyway. But, you know, you got a Slark there. The Abaddon's got no help. Chuan just wanted to play it safe.
Can't blame OD. He also wants to get the Sanity Eclipse charges.
That's okay. That's true. It's sort of
You're only thinking from your point of view,
I'm thinking from
OD.
the carry point of view. As that Slark, I would be pretty annoyed. But come on, dude. I just want to keep it hitting him. It doesn't matter that he's going to heal up. But you're right. The OD's like, nah, that's my charge. I'm taking that. Mid tower, the push will be put to a bit of a slowdown. FNG comes in with a Frost Shield.
Legend Clockwork are not useful if you compare to other supports on Aster. You have Force Staff on Puck who can break the coil and going straight into Aghanim Scepter. I love it. He knows that both of the cores of Gambit will get BKBs pretty soon, so that's one way to deal with them. Also the kiting potential, once again. There's no items on Clockwork at the moment.
No. It's been a bit of a slow game for him mid lane. GPK is able to find the opening onto XXS, and they do have the control to take it.
Does not want to use it. Like he could have popped Pipe, Magic Wand, and get the spells off. Also, OD was really close to use that Astral.
And straight to Roche off the back of that pickoff.
Their damage is pretty limited.
And just with the Curse of Avernus, it certainly helps. Getting him down that little bit faster. It's been scanned. I mean, Aster, they are almost certainly going to want to try and play for a steal. SCCC can look for the pounce in.
Here comes Grandma.
Here comes the Kisses from afar, pushing them out of the pit. Roshan, it's low. It is really low here. Gambit, they don't want to give this one up. They want to stick around and make sure they finish it off in the south. GPK is going to be able to find the Slark outside, jumps in with the Vortex, pounds forward, the Zitterskate dragging him in. The Astral as well, Slark's in trouble. He needs backup and he needs it now. The Roshan falls to Gambit, GPK picks up the Aegis, and now Gambit, they can look to fight. Aster's got to back off. As with the BKB popped by Dream, he's chasing on. The GA comes out. They will start to build up the charges here, pumping into Dream. Chuan, if those arcane orbs, he's hurting. He can look towards Shashlo. Shashlo hasn't actually got the borrowed time. It's already used. He gets the triple kill, Tron. So despite Gambit getting the roast, getting the Aegis on GPK, the overall fight absolutely ends up going the way of Aster, with Chuan just cleaning up.
And they're still not done. They're going to get the Clockwork as well. Invis, do they have? There is one sentry on Snapfire. Does not want to use it.
Aww.
It's under attack.
It's actually really worth it for Aster. They're getting the kills, even though GPK still got the hands on that Aegis. The team fight is much stronger. If Omni gets the spells off, Razor's not going to be that efficient. And then there was also a crucial Astral on Slark, who is about to die. And then you have a Force Staff once again. You have another Astral, just deletes Lich.
Yeah, which is a really nice sort of start from the action from GPK. You know, as soon as he realizes that SCCC is outside the pit waiting to pounce in, he jumps on him, you know, sort of forces SCCC to make the movement a little earlier than SCCC really wanted to. And that obviously resulted in Gambit to being able to lock him down and make sure they get roasted. Fade having a bit of a laugh there. So good to see Fade in good spirits. I mean, overall, he's going to feel happy, as you say. They lost Roast, they lost the Aegis, but Chuan, their OD, cleans up. And he's only going to get bigger and bigger. 2,600 gold into the BKB. Once that is done, I mean, he's going to be punchy. You're seeing already how much space this OD can get in the team fights. There's not a lot to stop him. And with the BKB, he is going to be building up an insane amount of charges in these fights.
There aren't too many spells on both teams that go through magic immunity. You have Hookshot, you have Static Link. Nothing on Aster's side.
Shashlo got the borrowed time, but I don't know if they can help this man. They've got the root, the net, the Dream Coil as well. And what's the timing on Chuan's ultimate? He's got it back in 28 seconds, so Gambit have to bear that in mind. GPK gets silenced, instantly removed by Shashlo with the Aphotic Shield. He pulls back SCCC. SCCC still got the Shadow Dance to get away.
Hookshot's ready if they want to chase.
Do they want to chase, though? That, I said the Sanity's Eclipse, it's about to be up. And I think Gambit, no, they don't want to try and push this too far. They'll allow Aster to retreat. They don't want to chase into what could inevitably be a very hard-hitting ultimate. You know, Chuan especially already being level 18, having the 3 points in it.
This is exactly how Aster wants to play. They do not want to fully commit. They know that Gambit needs to use either Hookshot. They need that Static Link or a BKB and Razor plus Lich ulti to get a kill. So they want to go in and out, reset a couple of times. A lot of heal potential. Slark with the ulti also has Aghanim Scepter to chase, especially if they drop low or if they're out of mana. Then this is where Aster lineup shines.
Do you like this for GPK as well? We saw him kill the BKB earlier, but he's opted to go for the more aggressive approach.
Because
going for the
he
Orchid.
has that Aegis, so you can afford to be more greedy.
The drag back on the Slark. You're going to see the zip to the backlines. He's looking for Tron on the OD. He's chasing GPK, focusing this OD with the silence.
That's the target to go for.
There we have it. The GA comes out. Have they got the magical damage still to bring Tron down? If you cook it to the side, Glimmer Cape's out, but Exit Vampire's in with the hook shot, the cogs. The OD is trapped. The OD is dead. They'll kill on Tron. Sure, GPK loses one life, but he's ready to come back with the second. The Mortimer's Kisses. They're coming in from the east. The plums to the left. The Phase getting pushed back by Dream. SCCC looks towards Shashlo, but the borrowed time is there, keeping him alive. GPK tried to find Baboka. The soul burn damage from the Orchid, not enough to kill him, as Baboka will be able to TP out. GPK still with a lot of mana to play with.
Perfect target to go for. They need to delete that OD. He also had the window, a couple of seconds to use Astral on himself. He was hesitating, does not have a BKB yet, so there was this Orchid on the point, so he could not get any spells off.
Yeah, no, I mean, you said that's what, you know, this was the right call, and he showed it absolutely right there, GPK. And an absolutely perfect read of the fight. You know, just ignoring the Slark, ignoring the Omni Knight, just getting straight on top of the OD and forcing Aster into sort of a panic where they just weren't prepared to help Tron. And straight away back in mid. Fight continues as GPK zips forward, looks towards XXS again. This huge amount of kite and save does make it hard for them to always finish off the kills. They'll be able to get XXS back to safety.
I'm a big fan of Force Staff as an item, one of the best items in the game that you can buy. They already have two. on Aster. I want to see Lotus Orb on Omni Knight. It's so good against the Chain Frost. You can always have time to use it. Removing the silence on any of the heroes against the static link, it works magic.
Some annoying items as well from Gambit nearly to be done. The Halberd is going to be ready in the next fight from Shashlo. Obviously, Chuan has got the BKB done in preparation, but he's going to have to be smart with the usage. Otherwise, he could
just be smart.
And that's what, just have a big brain. That's what you got to do. But there we have it. Halberd done for Shashlo, BKB done for the OD. So we'll see.
The problem is, if you don't have a big head, you can't have big brain, right?
That's true. Got to grow those heads. That's bottom lane. They'll get the kill. GPK, you can feel it.
Mindbreaker on Slark. That's a big one, jumping on the Storm Spirit, who still does not have a BKB, even though I don't think they can kill him, but, you know, it could change things around, especially if the BKB drops. Omni Knight needs to take care of himself in the fight. That's why I want to see Lotus Orb instead of that Force Staff.
Still Aster, they may have that 2K lead here, but I'll be honest, you know, GPK, he's definitely the threat this game. You know, I said he has to play it cool. I don't think this is necessarily an easy Storm game, but GPK is certainly making it look like that. He's 3-0-3. He's not let himself be caught out at all. He's always going in exactly at the right times. And, you know, it shows it's sort of a slow game in terms of kills, but he has been involved in every single one of them. GPK has been making these plays, knowing where to go, who to initiate on. And that BKB just about 1,000 gold away. And when he has that done, Aster are really going to struggle to deal with him in the fights. It's just sort of a question, obviously, if Gambit, during the BKB of the Storm, can get the kills in time. Because Aster, with all these sort of counter plays, very much have the ability to hit back incredibly hard. Anytime that Chuan gets this Sanity's Eclipse built up with the charges, there's still that threat to these heroes with the much smaller mana pool. Obviously, GPK himself won't be feeling too under heat from this OD. He's got to be more wary of heroes like the Slark getting on top of them, being leashed when the BKB does end. But still, if those hits are there, this Sanity's Eclipse could break down the entire team around GPK.
There's no pipe on their offlaner. It's more of a, like, I'm gonna be semi-utility, where I still deal damage, I'm gonna disarm one of your cores and have Vlad's to boost up the team. So Sanity's Eclipse is gonna be efficient if he can build up the charges. There's a difference between position 5. You see Baboka, who already has Glimmer Cape and half of the Force Staff. When I say half of the Force Staff, he only has Ring of Regen, but to 900 gold, while Lich has 900 gold.
Smoking from Aster, ready to invade. He gets scanned though. Gambit know that this is coming. Excess Vampire in position to dispel the smoke. So SE-3 tries with the jump into second pounce. Won't latch, but they have the Dream Coil follow-up. Looks towards the turret, and the Mortimer's Kiss is coming in from the back lines. What does GPK want to do? He's going to look towards SE-3, forces out the BKB as SE-3 stays committed onto FNG, looking for the easier kills, and will find it. Takes down the Lich and now wants to look for more GPK. Zips straight across on towards the Snapfire. Defensive Astral keeps the Snapfire safe. Excess Vampire hook shots across, but it's into his death. The GA's out. The Chain Frost will get a good amount of bounces here. He drops the Sanity's Eclipse. Aster, they'll turn over towards this Dream's Razor. GPK's TP's out. He does not want a part of this fight. As Aster, they're taking over. They've taken the 2 kills. 2 big ones as well. That was a dieback from FNG, dead for a minute. So effectively the 3 kills and only losing the Snapfire themselves.
Also the buyback from position 4 Clockwork. Like, they need to go in. You can see Omni Knight in that fight. He's holding that GA for the last moment. He does not need to pop it. They have these Astrals to save him. They're playing around. They were playing as one unit.
Now we'll see this once again. You know, Gambit, with both of those buybacks, trying to get some sort of an impact here, but the BKBs, the GAs, you said everything was used very nicely, one after another from Aster. So there was just very little window for Gambit to have an opportunity to do enough damage themselves. You know, GPK, you see immediately as soon as his mana's gone and out, he just TPs out of there, knows that he has nothing else to offer. As Chuan just continues to grow and become this insane powerhouse this game, this OD is a huge monster.
Second Roche is up if they want to go for it. Gambit can fight all the time. Chain Frost is the highest cooldown they have.
BKB for sure, not letting Aster get any space around this pit. That last fight, it did hurt them, but it's not going to stop them from making sure that Aster do not get away with these objectives.
What Aster needs to do is go in and out. This is pretty simple. Don't fully commit. Don't get caught 2 heroes inside of the cogs with the Chain Frost. Now OD has BKB, so he can take care of himself. I'm wondering what Omni Knight. He decided to go for that 4 staffs, so 3 4 staffs, and has that Lotus Orb that I mentioned, which is going to be pretty huge once he gets it.
Gambit starting to push over onto Aster's half here. Zip forward onto Tron. GPK's looking for the opening. He's going on straight away. The counter plays there, though, as SCCC jumps into the river. Looks towards Shashlo. He's been disarmed for now, but the disarm will end. Another pounce onto this Abaddon. Borrow time's going to be popped, but SCCC is just going to continue to build up the Essence Shift. Pops the BKB. He wants to fully commit. GPK, another zip away, will keep him safe. Shashlo's not quite as fortunate. The Abaddon is dead. As
I
Aster,
didn't have the chase.
they pick up another. And now that timing's passed where Chuan, Sanity's Eclipse, back online again. It's very hard for Gambit to fight into this.
And they're winning the vision game. You have Slark, so whenever he pings that there is no ulti, no region, and extra movement speed, they can easily devour that straight into Roche Pit. Rocket will scout things out.
I'll see if they do try for the jump. They know this is going on. Hookshot is back online, so he can look for a steal, but Aster, they're actually just coming into the jungle of Gambit and not going to focus on Roche. They're just going to make sure they can clean out this whole area and allow Gambit no chance to get anywhere near the pit.
As this game progresses, it's going to be tougher for Gambit to win it. They need to do something right now. They can't just allow Aster to take this Roche. But bottom lane and top lane is pushing in, so someone should scout things out around the Roche pit so that Gambit does not take it sneakily, and they need to address the problems with the lane. They need to outpush them, then they can go for Roche.
Yeah, and it really does feel that it's just continued pressure on GPK to make the magic happen. Dreams Razor, it's very hard for him to play these fights because he doesn't really have a clear static link target, it feels. You know, if he goes for the Slark, SCCC with that Aghanims is always going to be able to easily separate himself, pounce away to break the link, and then get back in. And if he goes for the OD, you know, for the most part of it, this OD doesn't really care. He's still going to be kicking out a lot of damage with that pure from the Arcane Orb, and will still be gaining those stacks to slam down a huge Sanity's Eclipse. So a bit of a tricky game, really, for Dream to get much done in the team fights.
He needs to use his BKB on Slark, get the static link done, but it's so hard. There are 3 4 staffs, 2 pounces, even ulti. Like, you still steal the damage, but you don't deal any damage. GPK going all in, Aghanim Scepter. That's gonna make things easier for Lich.
Yeah, they do have that combo with the Chain Frost, but that alone still at this point, it's not really going to be enough damage to kill off Aster's big cause. As Aster smoked up and ready to hunt once more. 16-7 right now at 35 minutes. Gambit, they're on the high ground with the smoke themselves. SCC is going to find the opportunity to get on FNG. A couple of hits for Chuan. FNG's gone.
Just build up those stacks in and out. Also, they can try to poke Roche, see if there's any kind of rotation. They know that there's no buyback on Lich. He already used it in the previous fight.
SCCC, he's going to be ready to dive around this tier 2. He's on, he's in, jumps in aggressively towards Shashlo. He knows there really is nothing that Gambit can do that scares him. Zip forward for GPK, whoa!
Cookie, he knew! Baboka.
I mean, that was pretty sweet. He's still able to zip out, but indeed GPK zipping into the cookie.
Even FNG tipped him after that play.
That was pretty cute.
They didn't get the kill, but it was pretty sick.
And now, SCCC, there we have it. Static link. For what? You just pounce in, pounce out, enjoy your 25 damage.
Put it on cooldown.
That's all you're getting.
And they're waiting for some kind of a DD near the Roche. Sadly, it's a region rune. Now we're gonna see that one again.
Yeah.
Here's the cookie.
Very sweet indeed.
This has to be one of the best plays I've seen. We've seen the sick play from Boar and Enchantress yesterday where she denied her own teammate. I don't think that was intentional because it was extremely hard to execute.
I mean, I'm sure Chu would tell you it was. He was like, oh yeah, I meant to do that. Of course. You know?
But this one was pretty sick.
Yeah, it's just unfortunately didn't have anything outside of the Astral to get GPK before he instantly zipped away. And bottom, oh, look at that damage. I mean, Ghost Scepter, it's not going to save you, unfortunately, FNG. As this Lich just doesn't stand a chance when these cores are on top of him, and with the gap close that they have on Aster, they'll find him each and every time. SCCC looking towards Shashlo.
Usually Baron does not give a damn. He's throwing his body in front of the enemy team, but stealing the stacks with the Slark or just building the Sanity's Eclipse charges, he can't be that frontliner.
No, not at all. Aster just got a really good lineup to punish these heroes. Both this Slark and OD has just been an excellent game for them. It's Gambit. I've got to think about the best route of entry into these fights. GPK, as I say, the pressure's on him to sort of find some sort of kill at the start of it. He's got to find his way to the supports, but it's so hard to do so. With how Aster are just very smartly maneuvering themselves. The back lines are always kept in a way that, even for a Storm with that incredible amount of potential with initiation, he still can't find these opportunities to get on top of them.
He doesn't have the clear target to go for. Usually, like you see Oracle, I want to delete him, but there's 3-4 staff, 2 charges of Astral Imprisonment, 2 pounces.
There you go. On to Dream. He's getting forced in a little deeper. There's the zip fall from GPK. We'll get the Vortex off on 2 of them. But there's nothing they have in follow-up, and now Aster, they see an opportunity for Fate to find the 3-man Dream Coil. FNG dead and gone, and with the BKB from SCCC, he can just commit. He's being static linked, but he doesn't really care. He's just racking up the Essence Shift. Will pounce away now. Zippo from GPK is running a little on the mana. And due to the Vortex onto Tron pots the BKB.
There's the G8.
He's punching through them all. It's Arcane Orb damage, far too much for them to deal with. They have to TP out on the Storm. GPK will be able to get back to base. But Aster, they are just taking every single team fight. Gambit's draft just doesn't have it in their heroes to really do anything against the 5-man that Aster have right now.
They can't fight. Even with the full duration static link on Slark, he still deals damage.
Oh, wait, hold on here.
Wait.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Well, that's one way to lose a game.
To lose the game. Oh, SCCC. What's he doing? I mean...
Well, you feel invincible, you know. When your team is around, and then
he's like, this game's over. Easy game, pushing mid, and then bam, I believe, I don't know what caught it first. I think it was the Orchid Silence. And obviously his BKB was still on cooldown. And now Gambit's going to get roast. I mean, this seemed, not necessarily the hugest of leads for Aster, but it was a pretty solid one. They were literally winning every single team fight. And then they go and lose SCCC like that. And they suddenly give Gambit this new breath of life. They've absolutely got themselves back into this game now, Gambit.
They gave him Cheese, Aegis, Storm 25, and 4 bounty runes.
Oh, Aster, I mean, well, more like, SCCC.
Yeah, we don't blame it on Aster. We have individual to blame in this one.
Oh, no. Yeah, Roche, Aegis, Cheese, 2 tier 2 towers. Just like that, gold lead's going to be back on on Gambit's side.
Just blew 6,000 net worth lead.
That is a painful one here for Aster. I mean, their heroes still, the draft, it doesn't change anything. The draft's still great. Their heroes
unless they decide to repick a hero. Like, we don't want Lich anymore. Throw in Faceless Void instead of him. And we're going to see that again. So
the Vortex into the Silence, as I say, the BKB was on cooldown. Pushing him out the BKB and just not ready for that pull-in. I mean, didn't press Q in time. And that's also quite a lovely one here. Spell Prism, we'll see who goes for that. Okay, so at the moment, obviously, GPK wants to keep that Timeless Relic, a pretty insane neutral item to have when you have the Aghanims, the extra, obviously, debuff duration with the pull, and obviously that increased spell damage. Actually, I don't think there's really a better item on Storm. That's definitely one of the best ones for him.
Especially with this kind of item build, I have to agree. I still feel Aster is in control of this game. They're just a bit mentally done, you know.
Yes,
after that kind of loss, we had it in the bag. Now GPK can do whatever he wants with his Aegis. Slark still chasing.
I mean, yeah, for sure. You know, it's, as we said, for you know, the reason why Aster were winning all these team fights is just because it is a great game for Slark. It's a great game for the OD.
It is, if they stick around as a team and play around these Astral Imprisonments and Force Staffs. Double damage plus haste on Slark. It's time to go. Also, I do not want to see this Orchid build. I want to see Basher instead.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, the Orchid into what, like these BKBs, the Aphotic Shields, it seems a little strange. But as we say, maybe SCCC will change his mind up, see if he does want to commit for it. As he's got 2,700 gold saved up right now, but the game definitely in a not nearly as safe as a position as Aster did have it. It's back to even on the net worth. They've, as I say, really given Gambit another shot in this game. As their cause, you know, GPK just continues to sit stop. Dream is suddenly, you know, he was sort of sitting, you know, he was not up there on par with the Slark and the OD. Now suddenly he's above them. And he's got a Satanic done over the Butterfly. You know, sure, it's hard for him to get a good static link, but now he's very tanky. It hurts pretty hard, even if he doesn't get a big link off. So they now have another hero that they've got to be scared and careful about how they push into.
There's still a minute and 30 seconds left on that Aegis. Gambit will gladly want to take a fight, use that Aegis. I guess Slark wants to go for Orchid so he can upgrade it to Bloodthorn and have something to deal with this Butterfly on Razor and having Halberd on Abaddon, also having Silence against the Storm Spirit once the BKB is down. But I would still prefer that Basher.
Yeah, having that sort of guaranteed way to catch out some of the cores. But we'll see. We'll see if this works out for SCCC and Aster. Gambit with the smoke. They're coming in from the low ground. Quick with the pounce. SCC tried to get on top of Dream. Dream on the static link. He's going to stay on top of the OD. So this time he'll get a good duration of it. So we'll build up a lot of damage. They get the coil out onto two of them. GPK and Dream are held in position. But SCCC's fallen pretty low. Pops both the BKB and the Shadow Dance at the same time. That's when you know he's panicking. And now it ends. The zip across with the 25. These Remnants, they're adding up. It's doing a lot of damage. They've got to get back. They turn with the Sanity Eclipse, but it isn't enough damage to get the kill. And they'll lose Twan. And now it's success. He's dead as well. Tron will buy back. GPK low on the mana. He's got to retreat a little bit. Still has the Aegis. Can they even pop that? This Astral should do it.
30 seconds left on Aegis.
And they want to kill him the once. Fade did
Pounce
blink
is
over
ready.
the team fight.
Let's see if he can time it.
He can. Gets the initial leash. Is there any sort of save? There is not. Gone in a couple of hits. The Storm will fall. Dream as well should die. Nothing to keep the Razor safe. Aster, they hit back and they hit back hard. FNG is able to TP out, but Shashlo is going to fall. The gem will be dropped, available for Aster to claim. And Aster, they can push back into a lineup that doesn't have buyback available on Dream. Dream is dead for 90.
They need to run on the mid lane, force a buyback from this Storm Spirit. There are a couple of missed pounces from Slark, but he timed that one, the one that mattered on the Storm Spirit after Aegis. Storm has a buyback, and it's gonna cause a problems. Buyback, clear the creep wave. They need to glyph it if he buys back.
And if there's somewhere they can get in and kill off Twan, they will have that chance to push into a team without the OD buyback.
They already used the glyph on glyph action.
Aster are not going anywhere until they get at least an objective. Awesome buybacks. They jump in looking for FNG. FNG with a Ghost Scepter will be fine. He's going to throw the Chain Frost out, try and put a stop to this push. Hook shot forward. They're trying to protect the buybacks, ensure that Gambit don't have to use them, but they do need to. GPK pops it now, zips it. The Vortex, the BKB committed as he grabs in the two of them, looking towards XXS. Antoine zips across with the Silence. This should be a dead Omni. He's protected for now by the Astral, but as he comes out into the Remnant, he should fall, but he's still alive. XXS, he actually gets the chance to heal up, and now GPK brought back. He's got no mana. He's got no health. The force to the side, but GPK is dead for 2 minutes. Aster kill him off and should now have the chance to get at least the racks, maybe almost certainly, I would say even more, without the Storm available for 2 minutes. This should be...
Man, I wish Lich had ulti there after that great pull on 3 heroes. They had no follow-up. And they're full HP. Omni Knight is regioning them up with Purification and Heavenly Grace.
They're playing it a little safer, so they're not going to go for the tier 4s into the game. I mean, they know that GPK doesn't have buyback. I feel like without the Storm, there's not really that much Aster need to be scared of, but they want to go for a second set of racks. They don't want to try and force the game. I mean, they still have 80 seconds. They've got more than enough time to just go for both of them.
Link broken. There's going to be ulti in 9 seconds, 22
Dream
charges.
pops the BKB and the Satanic, starts to heal himself back up. They are managing to draw Aster's attention away from the racks for now. Aster, where's the focus going to be? It's back on the melee racks. They'll get it. Now they'll move over towards the tier 4s. Still 1 minute with no GPK Storm in the game.
It's a very long minute for Gambit.
Is there anything they could do to stop this without their Storm? I don't think so. Fade, he's in with the silence. They've caught out the coil onto the two of them. Mortimer's kisses are there with the backup. Sanity's Eclipse is down. This will be Aster closing up game 1. GG is called. They'll take the win. And SE-3, you know, he's going to turn his teammates and say, look, actually, I made it a bit exciting, you know. Yeah, I just wanted to keep you guys on your toes. They have a bit of a blunder at one point, but for the most part, the draft was excellent from Aster, and they just didn't have the answers on Gambit's lineup.
Very nice team play overall. Spell usage from Aster, a couple of missed bounces from SCCC. It's hard once you get the eggs, but overall, the item build, the 3-4 staffs, the kite. If you think about it, like, is this an outdraft or not, considering that the Gambit couldn't close the game? They're limited on the tower damage, which means that Aster will get the farm. Also, Fade had huge amount of farm. 4-staff, Yule Scepter, and Aghanim Scepter. So those BKBs were not that great. Also using that 4-staff a couple of times to snap the coil that goes through Magic Immunity.
Yeah, I mean, it was just all in all a very hard game for Dreamers to carry to have much impact. The itemization, the draft meant that